All right, we had our housekeeping, we had our review, and I think it's time to build a character. We'll do the random rolls. Oh, we went to see a statue of a Danish folklore called Holger, Danish. It said he will come alive if ever Denmark is in time of need. Whew, Bobo, you want to talk about a great role-playing adventure hook or something along those lines? You got one. No, the college only came in the 90s. Town was built around a mine. Oh, it was an old mining town. Gotcha. Mage says like Arthur for England. Well, and you know, Bobo, not a lot of people know this, but if you want to explain, I'll simply say there's a popular feature. Hey, I can see myself on my phone. There's a popular feature to a lot of modern electronics that has its roots in Denmark or in Danish lore. Can any of you guess what that feature is and or the history of it? While you all are noodling over that, let's get some dice rolls in. Male, female, or multi-class character, percentile die, we'll figure that out. 69 is a male. The swipeable keyboard. Oh, Dark Wolf is prepping for a history lesson. Very good. Now that we have a male what? We're going to roll a d10 and find out. 6. That is a gnome. And which kind of gnome? Odds or evens? We rolled another 6. That is going to be a forest gnome. A genome. Only got a smartphone, so I'm gonna have to say no idea. Well, I'm not talking about Motorola as the company. There's a very popular feature. Let's see. Here's another clue. If it's on your phone, and it's on something like this, what could it be? Hey, I think we might have a winner. The real Dorgrim. The real Dorgrim is correct. Now, Bobo, are you smiling because you know and you would like to give the history lesson, or is that something that I should be bringing up? Let's find out if our character is going to be good, neutral, evil. We're going to roll 2d100s. A 10 and a 98. That is going to be a chaotic good character. Oh, all right. I can share it there also. Harold Bluetooth. If you would like to read the legend, the history, actually, well, a bit of the two. They kind of intertwine. Look up Harold Bluetooth. Now, what level are we going to generate him as? D100? 58. is a level 13 character. Of the opportunities he has to take ability score improvements or ASIs or stat bumps, let's see if any of those are going to be feats. We're going to roll a D percentile again. 80. Ooh, my. All right, so he's going to get an ASI at 4, 8, and 12. 2 of these are going to be feats. There we go. Ah, there you go, Bobo. And now you know. His background, we're going to determine on a 13-sided die. 9. He is an Outlander. Right here. There are 10 origins to being an Outlander. I'm going to roll a D10 and determine which one he will have. 7. So for background up here, we're going to put Outlander 7. What does that mean? I don't know yet, and it's not important. This is a placeholder. As well, we are going to put placeholders for his personality. 2d8. So here we have 7 and 1. And 3d6. 5, 2, 4. Excellent. Ah, now. Which class will he be? We're going to roll this big golden button right here, this D12, and find out. 3. Hey, a cleric. Now, clerics have 7 different domains. 8 if you count death as an evil cleric, quote unquote. Let's roll a 7-sided die and find out which domain he represents. 5. Tempest. Ooh. Cleric. Tempest. Yes, that is correct, Mage. Knowing is half the battle. At least NHL and its official is good for getting out pent-up anger. Yeah, hey, if you're feeling like, excitable and you want to bleed off that energy, I suppose getting angry is one way of doing it. A standard, yeah, there you go. It's a bread and butter class, Bubonic. Bobo, it's a fun story about him. He was a warrior with some massive corner tooths. He got decapitated and the guy took his head, but he cut his leg on the tooth, got infected, and died. Ooh, see? Bobo has given us the inside info. And thank you for sharing that, Bobo. Now we're going to fill in a little bit of physical information. We have a gnome. Halflings. I'm gonna have to remove these. This is just Bubonic, if you don't mind, can you make a version that doesn't have this as an option? It's in presenting something like this is a little bit easier to follow, but getting the black and white, especially scrolling it, I think that can be very distracting, or it's difficult to find the information. Extreme Marine, welcome. Bubonic one, finally a group is going to have a solid healing, even if it's a Tempest, it's still, yeah, it is capable of healing. Mage asks, or did he color his teeth? Clark says, nah, something bad happened a few days ago that I couldn't admit to myself. Let's just say I'm going to be staying with my cheese-stealing roommate for a lot longer than I expected. Yelling about, oh yeah, that's right, I remember, your roommate was stealing your cheese. Yelling about the NHL has allowed me to get the anger that I suppressed from that situation. Thank you, Bubonic. Bobo says, yeah, because his big teeth, and they might be hygiene, they might have been dead, not sure why they called him blue. Marine, welcome back. It's great to see you. We were both exploring a little bit of lore, like actual history and lore, because of the things that we were talking about IRL. And of course, that bleeds over as we're using our imaginations into creativity. So we were exploring why we have a popular feature called Bluetooth and from where it originated. All right, so here's our gnome. They're going to start at 2 foot 11 inches, and we're going to add 2d4 inches to his height. We're going to add 5 inches. All right. 3'4". That's on a good day. Now we're going to take this same 5, and we're going to multiply it by 1 pound and add that to his base weight. So he is going to be 3'4" and 40 pounds. Unless it rains and he gets wet, and then maybe he'll be like, I don't know, 42 pounds or something like that. Now we're going to roll to see how old he is. Percentile? 58, and that is going to put us in the adult range right here, column 3. We're going to go over from gnome. So adult gnomes range between 121 to 200 years. I'm going to make an 80-sided die down here and roll it. 2. So he's 122. Very good. We finished the random number generation part of this character, so we can minimize what we have going on here. Tin Cat, hello! You got to play Maid today, and you failed horribly. So are you the one who birthed that demon spawn or whatever that happened? If any of you want to know what's happening, pop over in the Discord and you can read up on it. Nerding out is a good escape, though, from tough times too. Well, you know what? You are surrounded by a bunch of nerds. We are brothers and sisters in dice-wielding arms, Clark. We got you, man. And if you ever do need like a personal outlet too, you can always look. If you need to, you can shoot me a personal message, and I'll be happy to discuss things. You know, explore ideas, and if you gotta bleed out some stuff you have pent up here, I've done it for years and years at my shop. You know, sometimes you just need someone to talk to. That's open to you, Clark. And you know, if any of you need advice or if I can help you out, let me know. Demon spawn was not birthed. Oh, I thought it was said that one of you guys actually or was it just summoned or something? Anyway, let's explore the background here. We have an Outlander. We are in chapter 4, and alphabetically the backgrounds are listed. We're gonna find Hermit, Noble. Oh, there we go, Outlander. Make sure you bring back enough for the rest of us, Mage. We are going to become proficient in athletics and survival. Boy, a Tempest Cleric with Outlander background, this just works itself out so well, doesn't it? Trust yourself to the random dice rolls. We are going to get a tool proficiency in some kind of instrument. We also will get a language of our choice. Being a gnome, we will get Common, Gnomish, and question mark. There was one demon summoning and one demonic transformation. Ah. Well, yeah, you drew a picture of that, Dark Wolf. Right here. So I can only guess what was going on, but I would hopefully one of you can write up a couple paragraphs in our Tales from the Tabletop to explain this. Also, if anime has taught me anything, whoever's playing the girl with the light hair, you gotta watch out. Anime girls with light blue hair, well, I keep this channel PG-13, so I can't really go into details, but they have a reputation. Okay, we're also going to get some equipment. Let's go down to our backpack. We are going to get, well, first thing is a quarterstaff. We will also get a hunting trap. some kind of a trophy from an animal we killed. Traveler's clothes. And a belt pouch with 10 gold in it. Yay. Yellow's tin cat, that's Lytan, the kobold next to her serenading. Oh. We were Outlander number 7. So remember, we're conceptualizing right now. Numbers don't exist, numbers don't matter. Who is the person? Let's discover who this person is before we put numbers to him. His origin, oh, he was a pilgrim. Okay, very good. Hey, and dun-da-da-da, it seems that pilgrimage might have worked out. You've been to strange places and seen things that others cannot begin to fathom. Consider some of the distant lands you've visited and how they've impacted you. You can roll on the following table to determine your occupation during your time in the wild, or choose one that best fits your character. Our feature is that we are a wanderer. You have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and you can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, provided that the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth. This is an excellent background to take, because if you're doing a lot of overland travel, this takes out a lot of the detailed, how are you getting food? Are you counting daily rations? As a DM, you don't necessarily have to worry about having them constantly rolling survival checks and such. Now, if they're in the middle of our region of Mesotopia called Aslandia, which is a lot of desert, it's very barren, even the Wanderer feature might not help that much. Maybe instead it just would give advantage on survival checks that are necessary. You sent the fixed version, keeping... Okay, no problem, Bubonic. This is his background. Now let's explore who he is by his race. Intelligence score increases by 2, so all gnomes are getting this. We already have age and alignment, not too worried about that. And by the way, don't just pass up this information. For the purposes of what we do here, I don't, because we're making our own culture. We can conceptualize gnomes in different ways. If you want inspiration, or if you're a new player and you say, well, what is a gnome? This is very good at helping you establish a base concept for why the gnome is presented the way that it is. Tin Cat, the story is my character was a maid who took care of the monsters in the dungeon, and I also bandaged them when they got hurt. There was a monster in the dungeon who would get hurt multiple times a day, maybe on purpose, because he had a crush on her, aka Nyren the maid and Lytan the kobold. Oh. Are you all like, is this an evil campaign, so you're actually supporting monsters in the dungeon, or what's the theme to it? On the next page, on the next page, there we go. No, being a gnome, we're small, S-M-O-L, we are small creatures. We do get a base walking speed of 25 feet, meaning 12 climb, 12 swim, half rounded down, and no intrinsic flying. We will get 60 feet of dark vision. Bink. There we go. We'll put it in the eye right up here. We also will have Gnome Cunning. You have advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws against magic. Advantages, we'll put int, wiz, cha versus magic. We have languages in our subrace. Here we are as a forest gnome. You have a natural knack for illusion, an inherent quickness and stealth, In the words of D&D, forest gnomes are rare and secretive. They gather in hidden communities, in sylvan forests, etc. Our dex score increases by 1. Let's put a placeholder here. We will also get what's called Natural Illusionist. You know the minor illusion cantrip. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for it. We'll make a note up here that Natural Illusionist gave us this cantrip as a source. Now, we're going to get other cantrips per our class, and we'll just identify that with a number. But if your DM ever calls you out and says, oh, hey, can I see your sheet real quick? Or, you're a cleric, how do you have minor illusion? You can say, oh, yeah, I understand, it may seem weird, but I'm a forest gnome. This is where I got it. Speak with small beasts. Through sounds and gestures, you can communicate simple ideas with small or smaller beasts. Forest gnomes love animals and often keep squirrels, badgers, rabbits, moles, woodpeckers, and other creatures as beloved pets. Now on that, you might even come down here and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. DM, I'm playing this character. Can I keep a pet of some kind? And maybe you want to put that as in your backpacks, such as it is for a companion. Or these modified sheets are nice because there's a page 4, and if you want, you could keep a companion here if your DM has allowed it, and you can put its stats and can walk, fly, swim, speed, etc. There's a lot of fun. Ivalon is a great DM. I summoned devils and fought with a frying pan. Darkwolf says, we were maids in a dungeon for a demon king, but he had disappeared. We are seeking out a new demon king. Ah, okay. So you're not evil. You're just working for a demon king and trying to keep up the place and keep it going. Now that we know who we are, what do we do? Who's your character and what does he do? Cleric. 13th level. We are going to be looking right here. Bing, ba-da-ding. Ooh, we're going to get 5 cantrips. Alright, so anyway. 13th level, our proficiency bonus is +5. We are also going to be getting 5 cantrips. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We can also see that at 13th level, we have 4 first level spell slots. Then we go 3, 3, 3. 2, whoops, haha, that must be the new math, 1 and 1. Now you can leave the other spaces blank if you wish. You can X them out, whatever you would like to do. You can put 0, 0, 0, 0 if you want. I've returned with sustenance that gives me life after dark. Water and teddygrams. Oh, good combo. Never count out the power of frying pans. Kaboom. Good combo, mage. But did you bring enough for everyone? Your frying pan did work. I hope it made a resounding, like a kaboom sound. Class features. Let's look over here. Our hit dice are D8s. What does that mean? Well, hit dice reflect how much you can intrinsically heal yourself without the need for magic or medical attendance. Those also dictate how many extra hit points you get every time you level up. You get a number of them equal to your level, so we have 13 D8s and we've used 0 of them. And again, for this side, we're not multi-classed, so we don't need to worry about it. You can leave them blank, you can X them out, do as you will. We're going to get some proficiencies. Armor. We are going to get light armor, medium armor, and the use of shields as proficiencies. We will get training in all simple weapons, both melee and ranged. No tool proficiencies. Our saving throw proficiencies are going to be wisdom, so we're going to fill in this little diamond here. Wisdom and charisma. And we are going to get to choose 2 skills. History, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. Oh, you know what? We need to do a little bit more looking at the background in order to maybe make a better choice for his skills. I'm sorry that I ended up skipping over that. We're having such a good conversation. So let me go back to this. It's going to flash a little bit, so hang on. Almost there. And that's Noble Outlander. Here we go. His personality type is, well, he has 2 traits. 7. I feel far more comfortable around animals than people. Okay, well, this might help dictate what we're going for. And number 1, I'm driven by a wanderlust that led me away from home. And presumably on the pilgrimage, which led him to be an Outlander. And come into his own as this Tempest Cleric. His ideal is number 5. Nature. The natural world is more important than all the constructs of civilization. His bond is 2. An injury to the unspoiled wilderness of my home is an injury to me. Lastly, his flaw, because we are all flawed creatures. I am slow to trust members of other races, tribes, and societies. Maybe he sees them as an external threat. Maybe that these other people are the ones who are, trying to pave paradise and put up a parking lot, as the song goes. All right, keeping his personality in mind, right? We're not building these characters to min-max in a meta sense as a group of people in a party. We're doing this to reflect who he is. What has he spent his life doing? That then might make it easier to choose his skills. Oh, let me catch up in chat. I've listened to more rap music in the past week than I have in the past 19 years of my life put together, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Everyone gets 1 cookie apiece. Oh, so nice of you, Mage. Was it at least good rap music? See, that's where I'm at, because I've never liked rap before, but I was kind of digging the stuff I've been listening to. And if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Thematically, as odd as it may seem, we can look at something like rap, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, but I listen to country music, and those are opposites. And they aren't really. In many ways, if you listen to the lyrics of the songs, country music as a genre, rap music as a genre, they sing about women, they sing about cars, they sing about their religion, they sing about their lifestyle and the place that they live. They sing about the cultural aspects that they embrace. And really, it's just, what kind of a beat do you want to put that to? So we get history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. Well, you know what? He was on a pilgrimage, and he found his goal in being an Outlander. I think that that kind of a revelation would have reflection in a proficiency with the knowledge religion. Yeah, the difference is the choice of instruments and rhythm. Yep. I'm not going to argue on that, Mage. As well, let's see. History, I don't know about insight. If he has spent time outside of, time outside, I don't think he'd really have insight, because that's more for people. Now, what you could do is approach your DM and say, look, given these circumstances, if I can take a wisdom-based insight, but I really get along well with animals, would you allow me to replace insight with animal handling? It's still a wisdom-based skill, and it is in the idiom of my character, because I would take that as a proficiency. So that is my advice to you in that kind of a situation, that there's no reason why you can't approach your DM. It's logical. You've made the case. You've made the reason why. Now, let's stick to what we have here to keep it a little bit more vanilla, but I suggest spicing things up at your own tabletop. I listened to Bonafide diss track on another artist. Nothing compared to the stuff I'd normally listen to. So, be a bon vivant, Clark. Be a bon vivant. Explore life. Challenge yourself to watch things that you never thought you'd like before. Listen to music that you maybe never would listen to before. Hey, there's Spicy Larry. I was wondering if you were out there. I figured if I just mentioned the spice and the spice would flow, and so be it. Spicy Larry is here. It's by the way, Spicy, thank you for the reference on your paper. For any of you who don't know, Spicy Larry was making a presentation about tabletop activity, role-playing and such, and he was able to use information that we in the channel provided him. So Spicy, when you get your grade back on it, or however it's going to be evaluated, I'd really like to know how you did on that. Mage, never listened to any rap for ages until a friend got me to listen to the soundtrack for Hamilton. Now I need to find more. Clark says Chun-Li by Nicki Minaj is a great one if you haven't heard it. So what else might he take? I see him, he's getting a boost to intelligence. I think he's definitely going to be a smarty pants here. Would he know medicine? Perhaps. How did he survive out in the wilds as a pilgrim before he got the ability to magically heal himself? I don't think he'd be very persuasive, and he has knowledge religion, so history or medicine. How long? He's been alive for 122 years. He's an adult. You know what? On a pilgrimage, you learn more about just perhaps the religion you're following. You might have picked up a lot of other things along the way. Why don't we give him history? Oh, Mage, you and Dark Wolf would get along fantastically. If you two were sitting in a room together, I mean, you'd be like peas and carrots. You're fine. All right, we're gonna get to start with some equipment. We get a mace or a warhammer if proficient. Now, we're not proficient in a warhammer, so I guess we'll take our mace. We can call it, our lightning rod or something along those lines, right? Because we're a Tempest Cleric. Scale mail, leather armor, or chainmail if proficient. I don't think we're gonna get that. Let me check real quick. You will get armor proficiencies with some of your why am I derping? Your archetype, your domain in this case. There's nature. This is Tempest. Martial weapons and heavy armor. Now, here's where I'll say technically you're getting this package at first level, and so we wouldn't have access to chainmail unless your DM says, well, we're generating third level characters or higher, so it's fine, you already have it. Whatever, you were just a very high level commoner, right? You were a survivalist, you went over the lands and your background before you got your class. That is going to be up to your DM to decide, but you can propose it as a PC to your DM. Remember, communication is key. If you're going to ask for something from your DM, support your idea, be willing to take no for an answer, or even come to your DM with several options and say, well, I'd really like to start with heavy armor. I really see this character wearing chainmail. I don't get it at level 1 because I won't get my proficiency until then. But can we say, because I'm going in that direction, maybe you could grant me the heavy armor proficiency early? Negotiate. You know, you step up, speak your mind, creatively think about these terms, and haggle with your DM, and maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. But again, let's just run it vanilla. Let's say that you know, offhand we're not getting proficiency with that. We could go scale mail or leather armor. Let's leave it a little open, right? While we might end up going for the medium to heavy armor build for a Tempest Cleric, I don't know. We haven't put stats down. We're still kind of forming him from the ether. We'll get a light crossbow and 20 bolts or any simple weapon. So we'll just put LCB / any simple. Again, we'll go in and fill in the blanks. A priest pack or an explorer's pack. Well, he's more of an explorer. For a priest pack, you know, it might make sense because he is a very religious character, but he's not necessarily offering services. You know, he was an Outlander. He was a pilgrim. He travels around. You know, especially in the Tempest domain, offering a service would be, you know, Andy Dufresne at the end of the Shawshank Redemption. You know, his shirt is off and his arms are up to the sky as, you know, lightning is flashing, thunder is clapping all around him, and the rain's coming down. That's a pleasant Sunday morning service to him. Conceptually, could be different in your world. He does not have a name yet, Mage, so if something is popping up for you, you're welcome to make a recommendation. We will get a shield, so we're going to indicate that with a little diamond up here with AC. That's going to give us an intrinsic +2. And a holy symbol of some kind. Ivalon! Well, yes, it is a Viking invasion. Tin Cat was telling me about your all's game earlier, Ivalon, and Dark Wolf was assisting. Oh, actually, as our divine domain, I'm sorry, we get our divine domain at level 1, so we could technically take the heavy armor. Well, I'm sorry, just in case. I'm so used to making sure that that we're thinking and conceptualizing, and we're in this kind of exchange mode that you get spellcasting and your domain at level 1. So yes, we could technically take heavy armor if we really wanted to. In fact, I don't know. Let's give it to him. Let's go on out there. This will be my my shame put out there for you all, that I should have caught that a little earlier. I'll be reminded that he could have had chainmail this whole time. That said, if you take war domain, you might get martial training, in which case you could take a warhammer at level 1, even if you're not normally proficient. We're not going to worry about spellcasting and abilities right now. That's going to come when we finally get numbers. It's enough to know right now we can wiggle our fingers and magic's going to happen. We are also going to get Channel Divinity. The first one is going to be Turn Undead. The second one is going to be given to us by our archetype or our domain. We'll still put it under Channel Divinity, though. We can use, being at 6th level, you can use your Channel Divinity twice between rests, and at 18th. Okay, so we'll put something like Channel Divinity. We can use it twice. Oop. New math. There we go. Here's how you turn undead. The process isn't as complicated or hard to find as it was in some previous editions. ASIs. We will then get Turn Undead can go into Destroy Undead. We will also receive Divine Intervention starting at 10th level. Remember, because we're rolling up a 13th level. And that's about it for clerics. Now we can look at the domain specifically. Life, nature, Tempest. Here we go. Bubonic 1 is thinking, yep, a Gnome Cleric. Corrupt Pharaoh, yep, we're making a... Here you go. I'll leave that up here while I read Bubonic's score recommendation. Yeah, I think Dex can be his dump stat too. I don't know if he's going to be especially charismatic, though. I mean, yeah, that's a that's proficiency for his save, but I think I would almost switch his intelligence with his charisma, Bubonic. Or especially if he's gonna go, if he's gonna go some kind of a like melee, we almost might want to put the like a 13, 8, 14. Put the 13. I'm sorry, wait. $15 in wisdom for sure. That's so 15, 14, 13. And give him average charisma. Did I do that? Let's see. 15, 14, 13. 12, 10, 8. So something like this might be a little bit better for him, especially because we're going to get 2 feats. And, we're going to get 2 feats for him. We will get some Tempest Domain spells. Let's not worry about that just yet. We will get proficiency. Oh, we can take martial weapons also, if we wish. So medium. So we're gonna actually just reduce this down to all armor and shields. And instead of a mace, we can go for like a warhammer. We can still call it the lightning rod or something if we wanted to. Yep, we'll get 2 feats and an ASI if you want to think about that, Bubonic. Wrath of the Storm. That is if someone bonks you, you hit them back. You look at them and you say, oh, you ought not have done that. Channel Divinity. Destructive Wrath. We will also get Thunderbolt Strike. Sounds like something a mech pilot shouts out in the middle of combat. We'll also get Divine Strike. And we're not quite 17th, so we're not Stormborn yet. Alright. So, what I'm going to... I need to get up and take a quick break here. What I'll do is I'll still leave this. I'll go to my AFK screen for a little bit, and when I come back, we'll finish out this character. So think about him. I just need to take a quick personal break, and we'll continue on from here. All right, I have returned. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry for a little bit of a break. You know what? I got to put some kind of a... I think I need to put some kind of like a ventilation hole or a couple in the top of this Viking helmet because, woo, it gets warm under there. You wouldn't think so because, you know, it's just some thin plastic, but it traps heat. So for this, for the rest of this character that we're going over, I think I'm just going to have my headphones on. That way I don't overheat and cook my brain. Let's see, we have a Tempest Cleric. Let's get some Tempesty stuff in the background. I think we have a Dark and Stormy Night background that we can play. Yes, Dark and Stormy. Dun, dun, dun. One moment here. Alrighty. Live again. Let me make sure that I'm catching back up in chat. So yeah, I think I left off around where Bubonic was saying we get 2 feats and an ASI. That is correct. Hey, we have a cat joining us, as you just saw. Come on. Clark says, wait, we're giving a Tempest Cleric a Warhammer. Surely it just makes sense for the deity to be Thor and the Warhammer to be a holy symbol. It very well may, Clark. We can, I think we might be able to theme things that way. Mage isn't the only one thinking of Thor, though wasn't exactly known much for wisdom in his stories. Odin was the wise one. Or Zeus, yeah. Okay, I think I caught up on things here. I'm glad you like the background music, Mage. Bubonic One says, primary gnomish god in most D&D games is called Glitter Gold, and he uses a battle axe. Imagine that a gnome using a dwarf favorite weapon. Well, they are kind of related. I think. I don't know. The gnomes, you argue, are probably a little bit more like fey creatures. Dark Wolf, you're saying that my audio seems off. What's off about it, Dark Wolf? Is anyone else getting any sort of weird... What, are you getting like weird noises? Or is there a disparity in volume or something? Extreme says the audio is good. Alright. Well, some of you are having problems. Let me know. So if you put that away. No one needs to see that. You're giving him the old Iosaur on there. Alright. Anyway, let's get back to what we have here. We were considering the stats for the character. Yeah, Monka TOS. Yep, no cat butt allowed on Twitch in 2018. It is lewd. Wisdom is going to be important for the character. Yeah, Hakora. She likes showing it off. That just means she's comfortable with you all. Here, show everyone your pretty face. There we go. Oh, all the chin scratches. And isn't she delightful? She has the little chip out of her ear and everything, too. There we go. Oh, you're so lovely. So yeah, wisdom is what we're going to be casting our spells off of, and that will be an important score for us to have. And you know what? We could find a feat bubonic to do that. I don't see him as being especially charismatic. Yes, he does have proficiency in the save, but there's not really anything besides his class that's making him possibly be charismatic. He gets along with animals more than people. He's driven by wanderlust. Not that he's antisocial. He's a comfortable loner. And so I think we're going to be better served making him a little smarter, and then maybe doing something with his strength here as well. Actually, his strength is going to have to be higher if he's going to be wearing chainmail. Let me go take a look real quick. It might need to be at least a 15. Chainmail is just on the cusp of 13, so we're safe there. Alright, let's go back to classes, and we are going to be figuring out some spell stuff. Clark, we're going to get 2 feats and an ability score increase. So, actually, let's not put numbers in because we should choose our feats first. And our ASI, because that's gonna determine our final modifiers. And it's best not to be redundant. Well, charisma doesn't always mean outgoing, just strong personality. Strider, in the, yeah. No, I agree, Dorgrim. I don't know. I just don't. I'm just not getting. He has an average charisma. I just don't see him being especially outgoing in that way. Now, if you think so, if you think it should be different, Dorgrim, you are welcome to offer that. This isn't my character. This is our character that we're creating together. Now, by the way, it should be noted that clerics get all of their spells all the time. You can change up your spells between long rests. So going through and filling out page 3 in its entirety is not a necessity. The only exception that you might want to make is you do get domain spells. And your domain spells are always with you, no matter... you know, how many other spells that you might learn, or, you know, because it's a part of who you are and what you've studied. In the Tempest domain, which, by the way, we are 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. There we go. Oh, okay, I got you, Dorgrim. And thank you for providing that as well. We are going to be getting... And finally, there we go. Or if you want to put domain, or however you want to abbreviate it, but this way, this tells us, why do we have these spells? I'm typing around a cat right now. She has me trained very well. Sleet Storm, it is amazing. It's a good anti-flyer spell. What else do we get? Control Water and Ice Storm. Destructive Wave and Insect Plague. There we go. Then, as we choose to fill in how many other spells we know based on our wisdom score plus our cleric level, you know, we can fill in these as much as we want, but we'll always have these spells available on our list to cast. I mean, not infinite uses as in cantrips. Bubonic says, Cleric in 5e is my second favorite class. I like Rogue Assassin best. Really? You know, I think there's many who grumble that Assassin is... they don't like Assassin because a lot of it rides on the very first round of combat. Maybe Warcaster and Tough. I'm really not sure what to choose for this character's feats. Well, we'll go and take a look. We've filled in everything that we can right now without actually producing scores. And some of these scores will be, or could be affected by the feats that we take. So let's take a look at that. We're going to go to Chapter 6 in the PHB, right here, Customization Options. I'm going to swap this right now because I want you all to be able to see which feats are available. So we have Alert, always on the lookout for danger. Nothing about his personality is necessarily saying that he would be alert. Yes, we are getting mechanical benefits from the feats, but we also, to stay true to the character, must think about him thematically. Let's make him a real, believable person. Athlete, we can increase our strength or dex by 1. When you're prone, standing up uses only 5 feet of your movement, and climbing doesn't have your speed. You can make a running long jump or high jump. I could make an argument for Athlete, but still, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a very good actor. Charger, I don't know. And Clark, we'll get to yours. I'm kind of going through things in the alphabetical order just to throw ideas out there. Defensive, not crossbow. Dual wielder, he's not a dual wielder. Dungeon, maybe durable. You can increase your constitution score by 1 when you roll a hit die to regain hit points. Maybe not that. Elemental Adept. Ooh, he might take Elemental Adept. When you gain this feat, choose one of the following damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Spells you cast ignore resistance to damage of the chosen type. In addition, when you roll damage for a spell of that type, you can treat a 1 as a 2. Elemental Adept could be. Here, I'll make a list here. Elemental Adept. It's right above my head. Grappler, Great Weapon Master, Healer. Heavy Armor Master. You can use your armor to deflect strikes that would kill others. Increase strength score by 1. While you're wielding or while you're wearing heavy armor, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage you take from non-magical weapons is reduced by 3. Ooh, intrinsic DR could be really good for him. You know, kind of showing that he's like He's just this force of nature you have to deal with. Gambler is not a feat. Arcane Trickster Rogue, there's a lot of fun in that Clark, I agree. Inspiring Leader, he's probably not. Keen Mind, he does have a keen mind. It would be interesting flavor for sure if we wanted to give him a flavorful route to go. Increase your int by 1. You always know which way is north. You always know the number of hours left, so you always know your direction. You always know the time, and you can accurately recall anything you've seen or heard in the past month. I don't know. Keen Mind sounds cool because of who he is. He is intelligent. He is capable, and he's very natural. He's is by being this Tempest Cleric. Maybe. Linguist. He could have learned something. Being an Outlander gave him this other language. I don't know. Linguist isn't really jumping out at me. Oh, no problem, Buddha Belly. We're getting to Warcaster. Lucky, I don't do Lucky because every character can take Lucky. Lucky is good. It's not flavorful. And so, as a house rule for the stream, if we're considering feats, unless there's some really, I don't know, really weird circumstance, I don't think I would give a character Lucky. Because it is universal and it is good. Corrupt Pharaoh, can we make an assassin after this one? So Corrupt, after this character, we're going to make one more random character for the campaign, and then if you want, we can do something like an assassin in part 3. Did you have a concept in mind, Corrupt Pharaoh? If we wanted to make him more magical, we could give him Magic Initiate. Mounted, nah. Observant, nah. Wisdom Perception, that could have helped along his pilgrimage. Driven by a Wanderlust. In fact, you know what? If we even went with Magic Initiate, we could choose Druid and maybe give him a little splash of Druid spells. Right? He's a Forest Gnome. He's a Tempest Cleric. And Druid casting would be redundant with his high Wisdom score. Resilient, choose one ability score. You gain the following benefits. Increase the ability score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You gain proficiency in saving throws with the chosen ability. We could make him, a little hardier. Ritual Caster. We could make him learn even more spells as a Ritual Caster. Yes, he has it, but Savage Attacker. Maybe not. I don't think he's not very tanky. At least not in an aggressive sense. I don't know if Sentinel would make sense. Sharpshooter. Shield Master. He could use a shield. You use shields not just for protection, but also offense. You gain the following benefits. If you take the attack action on your turn, you can use a bonus action to try and shove a creature if you wielding a shield. If you aren't incapacitated, you can add your shield's AC bonus to any dex saving throw you make. So he doesn't have a high dex, but his Shield Master could help him out there. If you're subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dex saving throw, so that could be a good source of DR. Skilled is fairly good. You get your choice of 3 skills or tool proficiencies. Skulker, no. Spell Sniper. Spell Sniper could be interesting, right? He's a Tempest Cleric. He's rather offensive. You have learned the techniques to enhance your attacks with certain kinds of spells, gaining the following benefits. When you cast a spell that requires you to make an attack roll, the spell's range is doubled. Your ranged spell attacks ignore half cover, so he can really zap people with lightning bolts. You learn 1 cantrip that requires an attack roll. Choose the cantrip from, well, there's a lot of things there. That Spell Sniper could be interesting. Tavern Brawler, nah, he hasn't really been around people. Tough. Your hit point maximum increases by an amount equal to twice your level when you gain this feat. Whenever you gain a level thereafter, your hit point maximum increases by an additional 2. So that will give him a lot more hit points. Warcaster, and this was what Clark and I think maybe Bubonic had brought up, or no, I'm sorry, Budabelly. You have practice casting spells. Look, if he's going hammer and shield, he's going to be in the mix. Warcaster would make a lot of sense. Or Weapon Master. Increase strength or dex by 1. You gain proficiency with 4 weapons of your choice. That could be interesting too. Alright, so let's see what chat is saying here. Just asking in general. So yeah, we can do something in general corrupt for part 3. Ivlon, most characters are made randomly in the stream. And yeah. Clark says, alright, so I'm still trying to figure out an optimized build for the level 21 shot. When I multi-class into a second and third class, do I get the skill proficiencies with those classes too? Or do I just get the skills from your first class? You would need to go here, Clark, back in customization in chapter 6. When you multi-class, it'll tell you what you need to do. You're going to need some prerequisites in your original and the class to which you're multi-classing. You're going to have to do your hit points and hit dice in different ways. And depending on if any of them are spellcasters, you're going to have to consult this chart here. As well, here are the proficiencies you get. I think the only one that gets, Rogue, light armor, and 1 skill from the class skill list. I believe you can go more than... Oh, is it Ranger 2? Oh, yeah, 1 skill from... Yeah. I think you can go more than 1 class, Ivlon. But anyway, it's in Chapter 6 for you, Clark. Now, I'm sorry, going back here, I do think Warcaster is going to be very important for this character. Having a hammer and shield, and also having the proficiency in con saves to hold your concentration spells while you're being hit. Darkwolf thought that you like the Druid option. So if we went into Warcaster and Magic Initiate, we could go Druid. You learn 2 cantrips of your choice from that class's spell list. In addition, choose 1 first level spell from the same list. You learn a spell and can cast it at its lowest level. Once you cast it, you must finish a long rest. Your spellcasting ability. Alright. So, we don't have... Let's go with these. And you know what? If you all want to change it at home, I will put this PDF up on the Discord, and you can swap it around and see how it might affect him. We don't have room on the first page for that, but we can put, hey, 2 more here on the third page. So if we go Magic Initiate, and we went Druid, that will give us our 2 cantrips and a first level spell. There we go. We could, I mean, we could just put like MI. We could do the same thing here and just go MID if you want to be consistent. You know, this could just be like CD for Cleric Domain or like TMP for Tempest, however you'd like to do it. All right, so we do this and we can give him a little bit of a Druid flair. You know, he picked up some tips and tricks while he was on a pilgrimage. Yeah, the context for what Clark is doing, Ivalon, is you must be broken to survive, it sounds like. Alright, neither of these gave us a stat bump, meaning that we can now drop in things where we'd like. This is going to go up to 9 because of the intrinsic... racial modifier. Maybe we can split this, and for his ability score improvement, his ASI, we'll go, instead of 2 and 1, why don't we go 1 and 2 and bump up his strength to 14 and his wisdom to 16. Doing that will give us a +2 strength, -1 dex, 2 con, 2 int, 3 wiz, and a 0 charisma. Chainmail allows for no dexterity, either, you know, a plus or a minus here. That's going to be a straight 16. He is wielding a shield, which gives him a +2. Therefore, his armor class is 18. His initiative is actually going to be -1, since it is based on your dexterity modifier. What else can we now carry over? Let's swap these around again. Saving throws. Strength is 2, athletics is 7, right? We get 2 from his strength modifier plus his proficiency bonus because he is proficient in athletics. We're just going to copy and paste this -1. There we go. Con is 2. Especially with Warcaster, it will be more difficult to try and interrupt his concentration spells. Intelligence, 2, 2, 2, and 2. History and religion are going to be 7s. 3 + 5 is 8 right here for a saving throw. And 8 on survival. Everything else here is going to be 3, 3, 3, and 3. Then lastly, for charisma, his charisma saving throw is going to be a 5, 0 + 5. And everything else is going to be 0s down the board. His hit points we can calculate. Now that we have a Constitution modifier, he is a D8 class. That is his hit dice. At first level, you get your maximum hit dice. Therefore, at first level, he gets 8 hit points. Every other level beyond first, so 2 through X, I recommend going half +1. That way, it's a slow, steady, guaranteed increment that favors you as the player. If we do that, and he is level 13, we are going to have 12 other levels times 5. If you need me to repeat any of this, please let me know. Lastly, every level, so this is all 13, right? All 13 levels, you get bonus hit points based on your Constitution modifier. So we have 13 levels at a +2. Oh, no. I really hope, Clark, that you get to play Zoe, because that is a big cliffhanger. And, you know, if, it's going to be a real shame if you don't get to finish that. That is an amazing place to, that's going to be an amazing place to leave off on. Alright, so here we have 26 from our con mod alone. Then we have 60. So here is 86, and then +8, we have 94, as Bubonic pointed out. If we attack with our quarterstaff, any of our strength-based melee weapons, we're going to be, that with which we are proficient, we're going to get our proficiency bonus plus our strength modifier, meaning that we're swinging with a +7. Here we get any simple weapon or a light crossbow. I think we're going to go for more of a melee. We're just going to put melee simple. Do we have to pick it out right now? Not necessarily. I don't know. Maybe we'll take a throwing hammer to be thematic. Well, in fact, yeah, let's just do that. Throwing hammer. Or a light hammer, I'm sorry, I think is what it's called. +7. That way we have a bit of a ranged / melee. Bludgeoning, bludgeoning, bludgeoning. Let's go to equipment and look at weapons. A light hammer. Is a 1d4 plus our strength modifier. And it does have some distance. A warhammer. Let's go down to martial melee weapons. Is 1d8 plus strength modifier. This can be wielded in 2 hands. It's called versatile. 1d10, and I'll put a V. So if we don't have our shield out and we want a 2-hand or warhammer, you can squeeze out a little extra damage with it. And quarterstaff is going to be the same way. 1d6 plus 2. 1d8 versatile. There we go. Our spell information. How difficult it is to resist your spell is the difficulty class of your spell. You calculate that by your proficiency, right? You're proficient with casting spells. 5 plus the modifier used for spell casting. For clerics, it is wisdom. So we have 8, and then we add an extra 8. Therefore, it is 16. You just don't add that at 8 in for your attack. So there we go. This is how we calculated this. We can carry this information down here, by the way. Save DC is 16. Attack bonus is +8. And here we have Channel Divinity. We can use it twice, and we've used 0 of them. For our cleric, because again, all spells are known to clerics. It's effectively them praying for, guidance in the day to come. That's how you choose your spells, thematically, through fluff. You get a number of spells equal to your cleric level plus your wisdom modifier. 13 plus 3 is 16. You can split up those 16 however you'd like among all of the spell levels you know. I mean, minus cantrips here. So if you want to go, I don't know, 1, 2, so 1 and 1, I don't know if we do that. 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and maybe we go 15, 16. Because remember, many spells allow you to cast up. You can cast a 1st level spell as a 7th level spell. It will use that spell slot, but you'll get an increased effect. So you may not want to put in 3 or 4 different spells here, because you only have 1 slot that can still compete with the prior ones to come. So this is one example. Ultimately, it's going to be up to you to decide as the player, what do I need today? And remember, too, that the spells we obtain through a feat or the spells that we've obtained through our domain do not count against the number of spells that we know. We'll always have Call Lightning and Sleet Storm available to us. So you know what? If we don't want to slot in a support or a utility or a healing spell here, and we're happy having those these attack spells be our 3rd level spells, you can put those elsewhere. If you want to really load up and give yourself a ton of options, do something like this. Something to think about. Buddha Belly won some EXP from a wandering monster. Nice. And by the way, Defloof's reign is dwindling as stream boss. He's down to 990 hit points. Also, you know what? What did I miss anything else? Okay, no, that's from Hakora and some other activity that's been going on too. So anyway, this is how you'd go about it. A cleric spell sheet isn't necessarily a diary of his or her life like it is for a wizard or a bard or some others. If you make, in fact, what you may even want to do. Oh, Buddha Belly, you're seeing that it is a slow and painful death, a death by 1,000 bits, 25 at a time. Thank you, Buddha Belly. What you may want to do as a cleric is keep a couple different spell sheets handy. You have your wake up, it's an average day, who knows what's going to happen, and that can help reflect the personality of your character. When your character wakes up, if there's nothing especially important, what does he or she have prepared for the day? What is a normal day for your cleric? So you can use that kind of a thing as an expression for your character. If this character wakes up and half the spells that he knows are attack spells, that is going to indicate maybe he feels threatened, maybe he enjoys flexing his power, his muscle. Maybe he's just always ready for battle. Maybe he's nervous. It doesn't even have to be some strong alpha position. So that'll be up to you to determine. So here, well, we can do something like X marks the spot. We'll do the 2 here just to kind of be consistent. Dr. Doom, man, thank you for the subscription. Well, speaking of taking the stream boss down, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. The 1,000 needle spell. Yeah, right, Bubonic. Where's actually Bubonic here? This is for 1,000 needles. But Dr. Doomman, thank you very much. I'm happy to have earned your trust, your confidence, and that you're stepping up and you want to support the channel with that subscription. I will always strive to continue to earn that from you, and I do treat that with respect. In fact, between you, me, and this camera, the channel is growing, and we're seeing a lot more friends. There are a lot more people who are stepping up and supporting the channel in different ways, through bits, through subscriptions and follows and hosts. We are finding also more people who are joining us on our Discord, which if there are any lurkers out there or anyone else who wants to join us, you're welcome. That means not only, I mean, that's not just a personal compliment. When you all make your entries in looking for group tabletop or looking for group video games, it's a way for us to connect more with others who like the same things that we do. And so we're really building a community, and we're really stepping up. And, you know, support from those like Buddha and Dr. Doorman here more recently. That allows me to also set a budget aside to ensure that the channel is properly maintained and groomed, and I can do some up and coming, maybe some promotions or giveaways as well for people like Ivalon, who stepped up and was a co-DM, produced some content for the stream, and who is actively seeking to host games for newbies. That allowed me to give a donation of sorts to Ivalon through Roll20 in order to upgrade his account to be able to offer even more chances for you all to learn and enjoy D&D. Well, I know. So, Doctor, it was more of a broad sentiment because there may be people here lurking who aren't already. And it was a good reminder to make sure that we're continually inviting folks to come along. So here we go. X marks the spot. We have this. We can fill in our cantrips. We don't necessarily have to at this point in time, but we do need a name for our character. Mage, if you're still around, it sounded like you might have had something in mind. Though, what would someone like this go by? Would he even use his original name anymore? If he's this Outlander, number 7 indicates here. Actually, we can put in a Pilgrim. If he was a Pilgrim, would he take on some kind of a holy name? Would he name himself after? Would he name himself after some part of the wild? The fury, the tempest. Because tempests are strong winds and storms. It's not always lightning or thunder, but it can be. Tempest could include, wildfires that rage across the plains. An earthquake. Something along these lines. Mage, no problem. If you're in, there's no need to apologize. Are you enjoying life? If the answer is yes, you're doing what you need to do. Ivlon is the king of noobs. He rules us all. I want his last name to be Heavyhammer. Can you tell me a little bit about the family of Heavyhammers, Tin Cat? Why are they called Heavyhammer? Maybe they were smiths at one point. Why don't we do something like this? Or warriors known for the weight of their weapons as they destroyed their enemies. It can be Heavyhammer. I put in Heavybanner, which can also relate, right? If their family crest is so eloquent and so wonderful, are you going to rub on my knee or are you going to jump up and say hi to everyone? Come on. Look, hey. It's a thing. You like things. Look. Come on. Are you just going to rub on my knee? Is this the state of things? Is this our relationship? Come on. No. Alright, I guess he's just in a rubby mood. Don't ask me to create a backstory or write a novel. Well, hey, there's got to be a reason why the family name is Heavyhammer. So anyway, it could be Heavyhammer, it could be Heavybanner. In character, right? While we can wink and nod, that it's kind of named after a mod here. The banner, maybe this family's banner was just so encrusted with embroidery and trinkets and gems and leaves and whatever that the banner itself became heavy, and that's what the family was known for. And so the family just accepted that as their family name, as they are the Heavy Banners. Nollevi. It would be Nollevi Heavybanner. Ivlon, I mean, it's kind of a play. Look at Ivlon backwards. Oops, I forgot passive perception. That's 10 plus our perception modifier. Dark Wolf asks, any way to make his initials TS? There you go. Hey, that's a good idea, Mage. Dark Wolf, there's a way that you can make it TS now. Whoop. There we go. Or it could be, I don't know. You could do something like that. For running D&D, I do not currently, Doctor, though that may be something that is impending. We have finished this region that we've created on Twitch together, and I may end up running some content in it because it is immersive for who we are and what we've done on this channel together. And that way, for the NPCs and the party members that we've created, we could possibly bump into them along the way. Delcorin, hello to you. Speaking of someone whose name has been used for the characters that we've made. Alright, I believe we are about finished. We need to give him an instrument of some kind, and we do need to give him an extra language. We're not under extreme pressure to do so right now, however. You want to call him Balalaika? What's uncommon, Dr. Doom Man? Or are we not talking a musical? No, it would be a musical instrument. You know, probably something that he played on his pilgrimage, or something that he learned to play on in his time developing as this Tempest Cleric. I think everything else is about finished. Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'm only going to take like 5 minutes or so. I'm going to go nuke up a snack. I took a break a little bit ago I just had to get up and, you know, speaking of nature's call that we're hearing in our ears here. I'm going to get up and make a quick snack, and when I come back, we'll make random character number 2 of the 5 characters total we're making this week to go through this invasion-themed campaign. Oh, undercommon. Ebonic munching on another bag of Doritos Blaze. Hey, yeah, see, we're in a munchy mood right now. I might just go make a hot dog or something real quick. Undercommon, if we can think of a reason why he'd have it. In this particular region, the Underdark isn't necessarily a thing. Not that we can't reskin Undercommon as something different. Undercommon might be the language that this invading Imperial army speaks, right? It's a common language to those lands, just not the common language of these lands. And so you can make it, you know, the lingua franca of this other region, and so he can actually speak in, you know, Imperial Common kind of a thing. We can do a lot of different things. In fact, if he's a Tempest Cleric, we could even give him Primordial. Primordial is the language of elementals, and it does have specific, you know, like Aquan, Orin, or we could even maybe go into the secret language, not just a Primordial, but Sylvan, right? He is Fey. It's a natural language. Or yeah, as Dr. Doomman pointed out, while like Undercommon doesn't have to exist within the realm of you have to have an Underdark, it could just refer to a different kind of common from a different place. So it's something to noodle over. We'll think about it. All right, I'm going to get up and take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have a blank sheet up here. And we're going to randomly generate character number 2. And then, Pharaoh, are you still out there? If so, what we can do, because you wanted to see an assassin whipped up, we can whip up an assassin using the traditional character generation method in part 3 as an exercise.